Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to the very second ever episode on this podcast of me, Randy Town now, of ever doing it on my own. So please give some love. I'm going to wing my way through this, but Ryan is unable to attend due to he had to go get work issues, and I am at home, as we can see. And I thought, why not record it the day after the game in the morning, and go from there. But yes, thank you ever so much for joining. Don't forget to go and follow us on all the social media pages. We're in the link down below. Don't forget, if you're watching this on YouTube, go and click the bell up there or down there, one of them, to go and get instant notification of when we go live with a new episode. As well as, don't forget that we've done 2 podcasts already this week. On Monday, we released one with Courtney, talking about the Coventry game and the build up to last night's game against Preston. Wednesday, we released a podcast talking all things Premier League. Our Harry Kane and Mohamed Salah cheaters. Our Man United top 10 after I'm recording this on the Thursday. So when I say last night, I mean Wednesday. After their performance on Wednesday night against Trabzonspor. I don't think they even get. They're going to be struggled to get through that, but let's just remind them. And I wanted to thank you guys as well on Instagram. I DM'd all of the Instagram followers and said, "Why are you following? And what can we do to improve?" And the numbers of you guys coming back have been absolutely amazing. You guys have really helped us and given us some ideas as well. If you're new, please DM me. Tell me exactly the same thing as well. Um, we're open to listen to a lot of new things. I will tell you if we're unable to do that, but I will also at the same time say we will find a way of doing certain things as well. Which is some of the requested ones was make it shorter, so we're going to try and make them shorter. But at the same time, there's more than one of me. We like to have a discussion and make sure that we get everything how we feel about that discussion out there, so you guys can make a judgment on what you think. Um, the other ones was try and get players, former players, current players, youth players. We're trying to do that. We've emailed a number of people. We've tried to schedule things, DMs, everything. We're just trying to make sure that we get our name out on how to do that. And we're also next week, it's going to be a bit different next week, because Monday we will be doing the review of the Stoke game, because it's international break coming up as well. So on the Monday, we will be doing a review of the Stoke game. On the Wednesday, we will be doing a podcast talking about Premier League, talk about the England call-ups, who's got in the England squad and what we think could happen with the England teams. And on the Friday, we got a special guest coming on, talking about his experience. And a bit about himself as well that we want to get you guys, but we want you guys to come get involved as well. If you're a fan, I wouldn't say a fan because we don't have fans. If you enjoy listening to our podcast and you would like to come on to talk about why you love Formula One, any kind of sport, not just football. If you want to come on and talk to us about why you love Reading as well, let me know. Put in the comments down below saying I'm interested, or DM me and say that you would like to come on, and we can schedule some stuff and get you guys on as soon as we can. My head, if you're watching this, it's just unproportionate to the screen. There we go, much better. So this is going to be a bit of a different one today, than what we did before. So there's no Ryan, but I've spoken to him this morning and he's told me his predictions. So I will put that in as well. I spoke to Adam on Wednesday night on Instagram Live, so make sure you go follow us on there. We're going to change things up soon about where we go live, but we might change it, we might not. But I will see what we can do to make things a little bit more interesting moving forward. But we will go from there and do that. But me and Adam spoke last night. He told me what he thought. I've seen the highlights of it as well, so it'd be interesting to see what you guys think of it as well as what I do. But let's get into it. Let's talk about the game like we normally do. We like to go through and have a chat about what we think of the lineup, what we think of the first half, second half, and do all of that. So let's get into it and let's go and talk about that. Let's talk about the first half. Then let's not talk about first half. Let's talk about the team news. So the team for the game against Preston was Rafael, Estevez, Richards, McIntyre, Morrison, Reno, Laurent, Semedo, Aluko, Elise, Jal. And on the bench was Walker, Yeardom, Gibson, Watson, Titit, Bulldog, Puskas. I think before that we were all very pessimistic. I was okay with that lineup because that was the same sort of team that played against Coventry. And in my opinion, it was the right decision to make because they needed to redeem themselves for what they did against Coventry. At the same time, it also shows by that lineup as well. Yido's back, one of the 5 players I think we've got out injured at the moment with Swift, Ejaria, Ejaria, Mate as well. So we've got four players that are mainstay attacking wise that weren't in that team. But it was good to see that Luco got enough opportunity as well with Elise as well as Jao. Semedo as well, still in there, still fighting for his place as well with Laurent and Bruno. The back four, I think, was going to be obvious with that, and then Moore wasn't in the whole squad either due to injury. And I think if you told a lot of Reading fans at the start of the end of last season, Moore won't be in there, a lot of Reading fans would have just gone, okay, that's fine. McIntyre can do a job, but I think we can really say now there was an issue with Bowen, with Moore. There was an issue with Bowen in general for a player of Moore's absolute quality to not even perform. So I think we now, I think we all agreed that it wasn't going to be a great game for us. I said on Twitter as well. I thought we would do okay. I still think we were going to win. But I think it was going to be interesting to see how they were going to fight their way back into what they were doing before. But let's get into the first half. 0-0, it was the whole of the first half. They sort of seemed to be having a go. They got a penalty through Tom McIntyre. Sonny Aluko should have scored as well, coming up as well. I think the first half was the penalty. No, the penalty was the second half. I do apologise. But 0-0 at half time. I think Reading fans would have taken that at half time. I think Adam said on the Instagram Live last night he wouldn't have because of it was Preston and we needed to redeem ourselves. But Adi Williams said I would take that, and I think majority of Reading fans seeing the result last night would have taken that easily. But I think every Reading fan and everyone else as well was thinking the same thing. We really wanted to try and redeem ourselves for. I wouldn't say it was a bad performance. I think we discussed on Instagram Live with Adam it wasn't a bad performance. It was we just weren't clinical enough, and silly little mistakes cost us that game. And that was the one thing I think we were looking for was not. Everyone's going to make mistakes during the game. You're never ever going to have the perfect performance, but at the same time, these players know that we've got 5 mainstay players in our team that are not playing. Yedom, mainstay, Moore, Ejaria, Mate, Swift. 5 key players that if you take 5 key players out of any team are always going to struggle. You take 5 key players out of Watford. Look what they did against us. They lost against us. You take 5 key players out of Bournemouth, they're going to struggle. Any team in the world, look at Liverpool, they're going to struggle and they lost Van Dijk, just one player. But if you take 5 key players away from them, it's going to be an absolute struggle. And I think the second half really proved that. Tom McIntyre gave away a penalty after he slipped and made a tackle in the area, and then a great, terrific save by the captain of the night. And I want to talk about that as well. I saw a lot of people criticising Paunovic for giving Raphael the captainship, and maybe not giving it to Morrison, who was, I think Yedon was vice captain, and then Morrison was around as well. Maybe, but if you look at it in general, Raphael deserved that captain. He may not be vice captain, Morrison may be, but I think he deserved it by the performance he's been doing for the club. He deserves to have recognition for that. He's made one mistake in I don't know how long. He's one of the best goalkeepers in the league. I think personally, best goalkeeper, one of the best goalkeepers in England at the moment. He's up there with Allison, with Edison, with I would say De Gea, but not at all. With Lloris, he can be up there as well. Lloris has got a mistake in him as well. But At the same time, I think Raphael is one of the best goalkeepers in England, top 5 best goalkeepers in England, in my opinion. And it's good to see that Yilmaz's coming back. And then they went 1-0 up with, let's be honest, everyone knew he would score against us. Let's be honest, he's always scored against Reading. He did it in the 2011 playoff final. I think it's David Andrews, who I spoke to last night on Instagram Live, pointing that out. He does love a goal against Reading. I think we all could have put money on Scott Sinclair to score. He did well when he went to Scotland, but he's one of those players that you would have in your team. He will always perform and do it. Then Puskas come on, and then Baldock come on because we went 2-0 down. One-on-one with McIntyre, who he didn't have his best game last night. I see a lot of criticism aimed at him, saying needs to go to League One, needs to go away, needs to leave. I think that's very, very harsh on him. He's a very, very good, intelligent player. And I think having one bad game doesn't summarize your season with how it goes. He's also a very young player as well, which is a godsend for him in a way, because now he has time to learn from what he did, and sort of learn from that and work and sort of work. He's 21 years old. For a defender, that's very, very young. You normally don't get to your peak defendering of how good you can actually be until you turn 25, 26, because that means you've been around the block, you know what's going on and what's happened, and you can learn from the experiences, what you've gone through. He's also, I don't think he's ever had a loan spell away from Reading. No, he's been for Reading since he's been in the youth since 2008, and he's played 17 times since 2016 for the Royals. He's also capped at the under-17s, 20s, and 21s for the Scottish International as well. He also went to the same secondary school as my brother as well, so that's pretty cool. But I think maybe it was a great learning curve for him. Would I drop him for Saturday? I don't know. My head's telling me, yeah, we need to drop him. And bring Lewis Gibson in and give him a run out. But my heart's telling me no, because I think it would be a great opportunity for him to learn from the mistake that he did against Preston, and come out the other end and prove, has a point to prove, coming into the game. And I think that would be the best for him. And I really do think that he struggled that game. And then they got the third goal on a counter attack. On the 92nd minute, I think it was as well, for them. To make it 3-0, let's summarise the game. Not great. Not great as in general of, I think not great in general as confidence-wise. I see a lot of people sort of point out to Paunovic that they keep banging on about that wasn't the warrior spirit. I think you really need to get your head out of your own arse. And I think you really need to really think about exactly the ramifications of everything all together, all put into one. Yeah, getting upset and annoyed at the game and, oh, we're just shit, is a way of saying it. But think about it. Reading fans are very quick to judge, maybe football fans in general, are very quick to judge a performance after one or two performances when you don't really look at the whole thing in general. Was the first 9 games of a season a fluke? No. I think if you look at the first 9 games, especially 7 of them, we had all those 5 key players I just said, and Yilmaz as well. They were in and out. There was at least 2 of them in the team. Jari or Mite was there, or Swift was there for the first couple of games. Moore was always there until this game. If you look at it as well, Yilmaz is now back, but he wasn't there, and Holmes did very well, and Estevez does well. But when you're playing constantly at 18, you're going to make a mistake. And you're going to have games where you're in it all the time and you're looking for stuff to do. But then there's going to be times where you're completely out of it and you have no clue and you're out of your depth. And that comes as a learning curve of what you need to learn and where you need to go. So I think this is a perfect learning opportunity for the Royals, to sort of go Okay, that's fair enough. And I think he was right as well with Paunovic when he come out of the game saying we aren't at our best tonight and we learn from it. We have to acknowledge the defeat, feel the pain, absorb it, and channel it into a positive to the game against Stoke on Saturday. And I think he's right. They had their chances last night. Let's go through some of the stats with you guys, and let's have a look at it um, with you while I get it out. We had more possession, which is rare for us. I think the two games that we've lost, we've had more possession. When we haven't had possession, we've when we haven't had the ball, we've done quite well. We do the counter. So I think they found a way. Excuse me while I have a drink. Of counteracting us from giving us the ball. Let us really think about what we're going to do. We had a lot more shots this game with 17 compared to their 10. We had the same shots on target, 5 each, but they were obviously more clinical. We had 8 shots off targets compared to their 4. We had 4 blocked shots compared to their 1, where we only blocked one of theirs. We made just over the same amount of passes. We had, well, I say same amount. We had 100 more passes during the game that we attempted and completed. We had 16 key passes and to their 7. According to this, we had 3 clear-cut chances compared to their 4. And we completed 10 of our 32 crosses compared to their 4 out of 12. And I think the most telling point is just by the block shots. They had 5 block shots. They put their body on the line compared to us didn't. Goalkeepers says that we made 2 saves. They made 5. Discipline as well was maybe a bit of a two-tarte as well. But let's move on. I think the overall result was a bit of an overreaction by the fans, and that's understandable from Reading fans because that's what they do. That's what we do as fans. Sometimes we over criticize things when we need to look at the bigger picture. I do it. I've done it, and I will probably always do it. I'm not saying it is a bad thing. I'm saying is sometimes we've really got to think about, as I said, the bigger picture about what's going on, what's happened, why we think of certain things. Let's talk about Stoke. Let's move on. Let's talk about Stoke. Before we get into that, what I would like to do is we didn't do a man of the match for the game. We thought that it wasn't a great opportunity to do that. We think that maybe they need to sort of redeem themselves now, and this is a big opportunity to do that because Stoke are very much the very, very, very good team this season. They have an excellent manager. They have good players with that James McLean. And I think it's going to be an interesting result. They lost last night. Michael O'Neill, the manager of Stoke, who I think is an excellent manager, he did so well for Northern Ireland. I do apologise for getting that mixed up. For Northern Ireland when he was manager of them, and I think it could be an interesting game. And let's carry on. So I wanted to go and get some facts and figures for you guys, which I did do before. That's my fault. So Michael O'Neill, excellent manager so far. His record against Reading so far this season is he's played us twice and drawn both of them. Let's look at Stoke's record against Reading so far. So the 5 previous fixtures against Stoke, we played them in the Premier League in February 2013 and we lost 2-1. The next 4 games have all ended in a draw. Reading v Stoke 2-2 in the Championship, 0-0, 0-0, and a 1-1. So in total, we've faced Stoke 17 times. We've won 17 times. We've drawn 17 times, and Stoke have won 18 times. The very first fixture between Reading and Stoke was the 16th of January in 1913, and it was a 2-2 in the FA Cup at that time. Let's run through Stoke's previous fixtures coming up that they had. It's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be a very, very tough game for us, this game. Not looking forward to this. So let's have a look at Stoke's form. Last night, they lost to a 92nd minute winner against Watford. They beat Rotherham 1-0. They lost to Swansea 2-0. They beat Brentford 3-2. They drew with Barnsley 2-2 and beat Luton, 2-0. At the moment, they sit 11th in the league, and with us sitting first. I think it's going to be a very tough game. I think Yeardon being back is going to be very, very, very helpful for us. I think that's going to be the massive deciding factor now is these players slowly coming back in. I think Mate Ijaria is definitely going to be back in and around the squad for the game against Stoke. And I think as well, it's going to be interesting to see how we perform in that game. Stoke are currently 11th. I think they're a very good team. I think if we get some of our players back, we can win it. Score predictions. It's going to be very tough. I spoke with Ryan earlier. He's going for a 2-0 Reading win. I spoke with Adam last night. He went for a 2-0 Stoke win. So I don't really know where to go. We're going to go 1-1. I think getting a point at this game will be very, very helpful for us. I think it will push us forward. I think if Mate, Ijaria, Yeardon are back, I can see us winning. If they're not, I can see us struggling. Yeardon can maybe come on and get more minutes. Maybe start Estevez. Tom McIntyre, would I keep him in? Yes. I said no last night because I wanted to see Gibson. But thinking about it, I think I would keep McIntyre in the team. I think because he needs to redeem himself. Not that he needs to redeem himself because that's like a school teacher. His confidence needs to come back. And I think the performance last night would have knocked him for 6. And I think if he comes in at the Stoke game and does well, that's back to square one again with Tom McIntyre, where I think he would do it. Seeing a lot of people already taking McIntyre out of the team and putting maybe I see a lot of people taking McIntyre out, Gibson in. I don't know. I don't know what I would do at the moment. I think it'd be interesting. I don't think it's the formation. I don't think it's the manager. I think it was just the players that just did not perform. And also we're missing 5 key players. I know I've said that quite a few times throughout this, but that is my real thinking is we have 5 key players out. We're slowly bringing them back in. We are definitely going to we've definitely got Yeardon back now, which is excellent news. Ijaria should be back for Saturday, excellent news. Mate could be back for Saturday, excellent news. More is an day by day to see how he gets on. Swift doesn't look like he'll be back until Christmas, but at the same time, if we can get through this month, picking up results here and there, I don't think the results count, but I think performances need to happen. We need to have players now that are ready to fight. Like he says, dug into the trenches. Get your warrior spirit on, get your helmet, your shield, your sword, and fight for the end. And I think that's what we need now. We need them to realise that after the last couple of games, and it's also a mentality thing as well. We've got to remember some of these players have come through the Stam, the Clement, the Gomez, the Bowen era of we lose a couple, then we go on a shit show and they probably get away with it. Now we're in an element where this manager doesn't give a shit and needs you to perform and wants you to perform and wants you to work. And I think we need more leadership on that team now because without more, we've got Raphael and Morrison, but we've got no more leadership moving forward. And I saw a quote where he says that was the one thing that he saw was the leadership problem. And I think he's correct. We are missing leadership around that team. And I think it could be interesting to see where he goes and how he pushes forward. but I have faith in this team. I think it was going to be an interesting game on Saturday against a good Stoke team. 2 losses against a team that are mid-table, bottom half teams is not great, but we're now up against one of the big, not the biggest challenge, but one of the big challenges we've had this season. I think people need to stop saying it's going to be a massive game. It's not going to be a massive game. There's a 48-game season. Massive games come, and not every game's massive. We get certain games that are going to be good games, certain games that are going to be, okay, we need to get something out of this. For me, I'm going for a 1-0 win. If Ijaria, if Mate's back and Yedom is back. If they're not, I'm going for a 1-0 loss. But let's see. Thank you guys for coming on and listening to me ramble. This is the second time I've ever done this on my own, so please give me some feedback. You're probably wondering why Jason Derulo is the thumbnail, because he was riding solo and I'm riding solo. But we will be back with you guys Monday with Courtney to talk about the Stoke game. We'll have a chat about that. We will be doing a general podcast talking about the England announcement that's happening today when I record this. And we will be talking about Premier League and all the other kinds of sport as well. We're still working on how we're going to be doing the NFL and WWE and all that sort of separate stuff on this channel as well. But we're going to work logistics and going to work that out. We're also going to be doing WWE's more stuff. Wrestling. We will be talking about AEW, TNA, Ring of Honor, all that sort of stuff as well. And definitely NXT UK, because I'm absolutely in love with that. But yeah, so please don't forget to like and subscribe. Please go and follow us on YouTube. Follow us on all the social media pages as well. Thank you ever so much for joining. You have been an absolute diamond for everyone that's come in. And we will see you guys on Monday, hopefully. Of new times now at 5 o'clock. Ooh, saucy. But yes, thank you ever so much. And I'm going to do this solo, so this is going to be really weird for me. Bye. It's just weird just saying bye and no one there. Bye.